Hello, this is Dipesh Chaudhury, and this is the Science Autocomplete Series CGSB edition. Okay, so we have some wonderful questions about the wonderful organ, the brain. So let's see what the questions are. So the first question is the human brain a muscle? Yes and no. Unlike the muscle, as you train more, for example, you do weights and so on, the muscle can build mass, right? It gets bigger. The brain does not outwardly or obviously get bigger as you train it. However, like the muscle, as you use your brain more, as you learn more, you play puzzles, stimulate your brain, you make more connections with the billions of neurons that are in your brain, right? So in that sense, at the microscopic level, the muscle cells do increase, right? Their connections with each other. So in that sense, the brain behaves similarly like a muscle. Is the human brain symmetrical? Not exactly is the answer. And what I mean by that is that evidence seems to indicate that there are certain asymmetrical properties within the brain. The evidence is not it's not been fully confirmed yet. However, for example, some initial cognitive neuroscience studies have shown that the left hemisphere, certain areas of the left hemisphere of the brain is involved in more language processing, while the right hemisphere is involved more in sort of visual spatial learning, sort of drawing and stuff. Okay, and the third question about the brain is the human brain faster than a computer? Oh, that's an interesting question. No, it's not faster than a computer. However, it is more complex than a computer. A human brain processes much more information in parallel compared to the computer. So it's much more complex, but not as fast. Now, second set of questions. Okay. The first one of this is, how does the circadian rhythm affect sleep? Circadian rhythm is the internal clock in your brain that regulates daily rhythms related with the 24-hour cycle of the day and the night. So this plays a role in getting your body ready. The physiological changes in your body that gets it ready for sleep. Okay, and what's the second question? How does circadian rhythm affect eating habits? This is an interesting question. The circadian system, as I mentioned, is a clock that regulates your body's processes over a 24-hour cycle. The circadian system changes processes in your, regulates areas in your brain that motivate you to want to eat at a certain time of day compared to certain times of night. And the third question is, how does circadian rhythms influence human behavior? It influences all aspects of our behavior. In terms of, for humans, you're more socially interactive during the day. You're more motivated to go and eat, as we mentioned, during the day compared to late night or middle of the night. It drives basically all the areas of the brain that regulates social interaction, for example. Okay, and the third set of questions are related with stress. And the first question is stress an emotion? People feel different spectrums of emotion, which can range from good to bad. And stress is one of them. It's more on the negative side. So large amounts of stress can be negative, but small amounts of stress can actually be quite productive. And the second question is stress good or bad? So no, stress can be good or bad. Too much stress can be very bad for a person, but a little bit of stress can be good. And in fact, there's some interesting studies, and we have just found some evidence as well with animal work, that a little bit of stress early in life can actually make you resilient later in life. So that's an example of a little bit of stress early on be good. The last question, trying to be sparkly, is stress and anxiety the same thing? Not quite. Stress is essentially generally manifested, is a result of sort of external pressures for most people, right? This then leads to behavioral and physiological changes, right? Negative changes. Anxiety can come from previous exposure to stress, but then it's manifested internally. So a person sort of ruminating more about negative feelings, right? Which then can also lead to further psychological and physical effects. Thank you, everyone. This is Dipesh Chaudhury. Thanks for listening in. And this is the Science Autocomplete Series CGSB edition.